What I'd like to do now is to introduce you to today's speaker. So I'm delighted to be able to introduce Urmila Rasan, who's the Deputy Principal at Stanmore College. And Urmila has very kindly agreed to share her thoughts with regards to looking at governance and leadership with learning technologies, but also some of the effective approaches that they're putting in place at Stanmore College. You can see myself there, Rob Martin. I'm going to be in the background, but what I'd like to do now is just to hand over to Urmila. So I'm just going to load her slides. And Urmila, if you just, whilst I'm doing that, just like to introduce yourself so people can hear you.
Okay, good afternoon. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm Urmila Rasan. I am the Deputy Principal at Stanmore College. I look after the central services, the corporate side. I work with the board. I'm a senior post holder, so I tend to do corporate governance and the leadership part as well. So I look after the IT, MIS, and all that area, so I'm able to contribute to this discussion. So if I get stuck into the slides then, the areas that I'm hoping to cover today, I will try and use real examples wherever I can when I get to the house section of the areas. That's the fourth bullet point. I will like to start by contextualizing what digital transformation is by giving you a few points in each of these areas, and I'll start with the why question. If I start it at the global context, the University of Oxford has commissioned a research on future of innovation and employment. It makes a very good read. I have like to share a few salient points with you. These slides will be made available to you so you can read them at your leisure because there is quite a lot on these slides. I have highlighted a few words which I want you to focus for now because those are those slides stand out, those words stand out. Jobs at risk of computerization will in turn lead to higher productivity, and it always does because it does everything faster. And if we are to close the skills gap, not only do we have to upskill the workforce of the future, we also need to upskill the existing workforce. And to harness this productivity, we need to get the skills gap going, and then the economic growth will follow with more jobs and prosperity. And FE is expected to be the vehicle to achieve this bridging of the skills gap, and you can see it on the graph, the way I have presented it. Then the budgets are tight, all of us know that. Most of the colleges and private providers, work-based learning providers all struggle for money. More is being asked for less. So to succeed in delivering the skills, we need to be able to deliver the skills at an affordable price. The same way the productivity of the world of work is increasing, we need to increase it among our teachers. So computerization in the form of using learning technologies need to reach the teachers to raise the productivity, not only to upskill. To deliver the high quality education, we also need to understand the world of work. If we don't know what the world of work is looking for, we cannot do the training. This will enable us to turn the future workforce suitably trained, which will include the familiarity with digital technology. The young learners and the working age population are all using digital technology in their day-to-day life and will expect it in their learning environment. And that's the new normal we have now. I have mentioned crowdfunding at the bottom of that slide there. This is where the apps are developed, and we all know the app economy. All of us are used to it. Like to just mention it in case you haven't heard of what crowdfunding is. It is a practice of funding for a project or a venture where money is raised with large number of people via the intranet so that they can invest, not through a bank. So that was the global context. Now let's look at the UK's digital future and the need to be competitive in the global context. There was a debate at the House of Lords. I'm sure all of you would have read the report. The report starts off by saying, this report is of call to action for the incoming government of May 2015. So whichever party comes into power, it needs to be delivered. And one of the objectives in the report is to turn a world-leading further education system for digital skills brought about by a comprehensive employer-led review of the further education offer. And when I say further education, that includes all FE offer, the work-based learners, the apprenticeship, the community learners, and colleges. To deliver these objectives, we need to be ready. So that's where we start off. So where do we go from here, now that we know what is expected of us? To deliver the objective of being a world-leading further education system, you could see those words I have highlighted. We have to revamp our offer and the teaching mechanisms, move up a gear of qualifications, being taught to include digital elements in all our courses. To deliver this, we need the infrastructure in place and the workforce ready. And that's where leadership and governance comes in, really. Because if it's organizing your curriculum, that can be done. But leadership and governance need to support, to underpin that infrastructure to be put in place to deliver the workforce.